Yeah, and we'll get down to 2 teams by Sunday. And next week, whoever the highest seeded team is, they are good to go to host the ACC Championship. It's going to be out of sight. Speaking of making her second appearance on the program, she had another awesome weekend. So did BC. Belle Smith joins us. Belle, it's always great seeing you. Congratulations on what has been a really, really fun season.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Again, we're road tripping to South Bend. Man, it just seems like there's 2 or 3, maybe 4 teams that this thing could go any which direction when we get to South Bend.
Totally. I think that's what makes it fun. Playing in the ACC, it's such good competition. So we're just excited to get after it and playing the best conference in the world. And I apologize. I lost my voice in the Syracuse game this weekend. So it don't sound too great.
Too much yelling, Belle? What happened?
I think so. Sometimes in the game, I just like to hear myself talk. So I got to stop with that.
Well, we suffer from that same disease. That's why we do TV and radio. We like to hear ourselves talk for sure. But you had a lot of good reason to be yelling during that Syracuse game. 5 goals for Belle Smith, a career high. Congrats on playing such a great game. What was working for you against the Cuse?
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It was my teammates. I was in the middle a lot, so they kept hitting me and finding me. And luckily, I was in the right place at the right time. But credits to them. They found the middle, and they made it work.
Every time it seems like we talk or see highlights, it's Charlotte North scoring 18,000 goals. But your team looks like it has so much fun playing together. And you got superstars all over the place. So what's that chemistry like? Because it does seem unique, even from our perspective, watching you guys play.
Honestly, I'm smiling just thinking about it. Our team has so much energy, especially on that offensive end. Anyone scores or has an assist, everyone's 5 feet out of the air, jumping up excited. And you don't see that every day on every team. So that's just the fun of it. And I think that's why we're so successful, especially right now, on a little bit of a high. It's that BC culture that the coaches bring in every year. And the goal at the end of the day is just to win. No one cares about stats. No one cares about who's doing what. It's just putting the ball at the back of the net. And that's what shows on TV when you see us all jumping up.
Well, why do you think that you guys are so close? Like, can you go back to before the season? Was there like a team bonding activity or something? Why does this team like playing together so much?
Like I said, it's just the culture that's created at BC. Acacia's all about culture, putting each other first, team first. So I think every single day that's just drilled in our heads. And it's not really accepted if it's not like that. So every single day we're told it's either this way or not playing at all. So
with all the offensive weapons on this team, it's got to kind of free everybody up. Do you get as much satisfaction of a great assist as you do actually scoring?
I think even more, honestly. In our last game against Cuse, you'll see most of my goals were assisted by Caitlin Mossman, and she's jumping up higher than I am. She's running at me, and that's how it is with everyone. I especially think, like you said, with a lot of threats, that's where Charlotte comes into play. So many teams are looking at her, following her, scouting her, and she loves that because it opens it up for the rest of the team. And that's the goal all along, is just to be able to read what other defenses are doing and use all threats on the field. 7-threat offense.
So, Belle, in your sophomore year now, you guys obviously coming off the national championship last year. How is life different as a national champ? Do you notice our teams playing you differently now that you've got the target on the back?
Yeah, so our team was actually talking about this the other day. Every team wants to take something from us because we took something from them last year. So lately we've been trying to figure out what our fire is, just like they have that against us. And coming up right now is ACCs. Acacia said the other day, BC has never, ever been good enough to win an ACC championship, and that really pisses us off. So this year, right now.
I love it. You know what's cool about that answer is that, hey, what we did last year was awesome, right? They can't take that away from us. We got the belt. You can go watch and go check out the championship. But this team's got a hunger, right? I mean, there's still stuff for this team to accomplish. And, you're not looking to defend anything. You're looking to win another one.
Totally. Another one. And like I said before, right now, we're just focused on ACCs. Like, we've never won that before. We've never been good enough to win that before. And we want to hold that trophy at the end of not technically not this week because it's 2 weeks now, but we want to be holding that ACC trophy this year.
Well, let's talk about that ACC tournament a little bit because it is marquee. We've been talking about it for a while. You deal with the ACC schedule all season, so you guys are well prepared for it. But this has got to be a little bit different now. We're looking at the bracket right now, Belle, and we see you guys get Virginia Tech and Coach Skyra doing some things in her first year there, and Syracuse potentially awaits you in the second round. I mean, it all happens so fast. That quarterfinal, semifinal weekend. How do you manage that, playing 2 games in 3 days potentially?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. I think fortunately last year's schedule is kind of all I've ever known since I was a freshman. And with that schedule, we had a lot of back-to-back games because of COVID. So it's something we're all kind of used to at this point, except for the freshmen. So I think we're just going to go in level-headed like we did with those games last year because of COVID. Like I said, the weekend's fast. So it's a lot of recovery and just mental focus more than it is physical focus when it comes to practice and stuff. And that's what we're ready to do. Watch film, get to work.
What do you think of the format? I mean, it is a little unique in the fact that, hey, you're going to play hopefully a bunch of games. You get through Sunday, and if you're still left standing, you got a chance to host. Perhaps if you're still standing, maybe you got to go on the road. Do you like the way that's laid out?
Yeah, so that's the first year they're doing this. I personally love how it's all in one weekend usually. I think that's the fun of it. It's back-to-back games in such a short amount of time. But I think as the student athlete and as a midfielder who runs up and down, it's really nice to have that extra week of recovery before a championship game if we get there.
So, Belle, being in Boston for a couple of years now, do you consider yourself a Boston person? Like, I remember Brad Stevens with the Celtics said he's a masshole now. Are you a Boston person at this point?
So last year I was very against becoming a Boston person, and I was like, nope, I'm sticking to New York, Yankees over Red Sox, whatever. But this year I think I'm slowly becoming more and more of a Boston girl, and it's kind of scaring me. I'll be like, I don't know if I want to go home this weekend. Maybe I'll go to a Red Sox game or something. So.
Hey, how about the crowd showing up to watch y'all play, right? I mean, that's got to be incredibly rewarding. That everybody's like, man, you got to get a ticket to see these ladies play because they're putting on a show.
It is amazing. Every game we get into our alumni stadium, and there's more people than there were last game. We're like, how is it more than last game? Last time we played UNC. Now we're playing Syracuse. There are more and more people every time, and it is incredible. I think the sport is growing so much, and it's just so exciting. I mean, being on the field, hearing the chants, hearing the cheering, going to the locker room at halftime, and there's thousands of little girls high-fiving you. It's unbelievable. I've never really seen a fan base like this for college lacrosse, especially in mid-season. It's absurd. And I have to give a shout out to Charlotte there because obviously credit to our whole team. We all bring in the fans, but I think with Charlotte North changing the game, she's a huge reason why they're all there. And it's awesome that we all get to experience that. I mean, she was doing the draw in the middle of the game, and I think I heard 3,000 girls cheering, Charlotte, Charlotte, and the whole stadium erupting. I mean, that's got to be amazing for her, but the whole team was just in disbelief with how many fans were there.
Yeah. What is that like, Belle? I mean, knowing that it's not just Charlotte, it's your entire team, your brand of lacrosse. You're going to be responsible for a lot of young girls picking up the stick. What is that like knowing that?
It's awesome. I think that's kind of goes back to what we were saying before with the celebrations and the excitement. I think that's what makes kids want to play, not necessarily putting the ball in the back of the net or getting a cause turnover. It's all about the way we look on the field, how much fun we're having, and the excitement that this game brings us. And I think that's what inspires the kids. So we're just fortunate that they're all there and that we be able to have an impact on them like that.
Now, I got to find out something here. Last time you were on with us and you made your debut, we asked you the traditional question, which is, what was your hardest class since you've been to Boston College? And your response, to this day, this is the 614th television show we've done. That response to this day is the only one that's ever been answered the way you answered it, by saying theater. So have you been able to incorporate your hardest class at BC to what you've been able to perform as a lacrosse player? Is that come into play at all in any shape, way, or form?
I guess maybe on the field, if you get hit or something, you can try to act a little bit to get a call. That would be my only thing that translates from theater to lacrosse.
Belle, there's no flopping in lacrosse. I mean, hey, let's keep it out of this sport. You guys are having too much fun scoring. We don't need that nonsense in the game. I don't want you going down that road. Well, listen, I know you got a class to attend here, so we're going to let you get a head start because at 9 a.m. is coming up here in about 17 minutes. Good luck this week in South Bend. and obviously into the NCAAs. You guys have been a joy to watch play and continued success.
Thank you so much. And the class is in theater today, so it shouldn't be too bad.
All right, you got it. Keep that voice good, too, by the way. Got a lot of screaming and shouting coming up this week. Talk to you later.
Yep.
She's great. You got it. Take care of yourself.